Hi everyone. Thank you all for waiting patiently. I'm just inviting everybody one by one. I hope you're all well. Thank you for joining us on the first ever Ethical Influencers Hangout. And yeah, it's lovely to see you all in kind of real time. Everybody's moving and talking and, you know, more than just a photo and a Instagram feed to kind of slide through. But I don't know whether you know me, remember me. I am Besma. I run the platform. I founded it back in 2018. Some of you have been here for the long haul and have been here since 2018. Some of you are newer, have joined us recently. Thank you all for kind of being on this journey and for coming and being part of it as a community. We have 12 of you. You're all very prompt, so it looks like we're going to kind of kick off within the next couple of minutes. But today's kind of hangout format is a kind of test. We're going to see how things go because I've never done this before. And at the same time, I think it's always good to have more of a connection as a community to be able to talk about things, to express challenges and situations we've gone through, and to support one another as we all grow and kind of navigate the influencer space and the environmental space. Let me pop April in. Okay. So tonight I'm hosting by myself, but going forward, we're going to have some co-hosts, we're going to have speakers. I'm speaking with different people as we go. It will be a monthly call as was voted for on the group. For this one though, we're kind of just going to have a little bit of a intro. So each of you can do a little intro to what you're doing. And I will share kind of bits and bobs that we're all going to be talking about in the chat each time. So if you need to refer to anything, it will be in the chat. Let's have a look. That's 15 of us now. At the same time, I have been requested by members in the group to record this, and I wanted to double check before we got started whether anybody has issue with that, because if they do, the recording will go nowhere, we won't do anything. And at the same time, if you don't want to express it now, but you would prefer to email me, pop me an email. We're hi@ethicalinfluencers.co.uk, and any kind of either the whole recording or we can remove sections that you're part of, totally fine. It's just something that other people who are in different time zones can catch up with. And at the same time, if you get any good advice and things kind of come along in this call, you can refer back to and see how we go. But really, it should be just a kind of community getting to know each other sort of call today and a bit more relaxed. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining at this stage. I'm going to kick off because we're at 5 past. So I think as a kind of introduction to each of what everybody's doing, I'd love for you to introduce yourself, share what you're doing and kind of whether it's a blog, whether it's an Instagram, whether it's a YouTube channel, give us a bit more background on that. And tell us a bit more about the last topic that you shared. You know, what's important to you at the moment? What's something that you're trying to talk with to your audiences? I'm going to share those notes in the chat now so that anyone can refer to it. But like I've been talking a lot. Would you like me to kick off, or would you like to? I can nominate somebody to start. How are we feeling? Okay, I'll go. We're a quiet bunch, right? So I'm Besma. Alongside Ethical Influencers, I run my blog, which is Curiously Conscious. I've been doing it for 6 years, and it's kind of covered everything from natural deodorant through to most recently talking about green policies and what they represent across the US, Europe, the world generally. You know, we've got the Paris Agreement, which has so many different countries involved. So looking at policy on a slightly larger scale. That's me, and I'm going to nominate Julia, if you are happy to come off mute.
I am, yeah, I was just having a quiet, discreet choke to myself, but I'm all good now. Hi everyone, I'm Julia. It's so nice to meet you all.
Can everybody hear Julia, or is it just, sorry, I can't hear you. You can.
Is that better?
Interesting. I wonder why I've got some.
Oh. Can you hear me at all, Besma?
Let me jump, I'll jump off the, I'll sort my speaker out. Julia, carry on, please.
Okay. I run a really tiny coaching consultancy for kind of people in the positive impact space, whether they're working at a really local community level, whether they are trying to change policy, whether it's environmental, whatever it is they're trying to do. I kind of support them to stay really true to their roots, because sometimes you found something on really strong foundations, but then you get busy, you start making compromises, and it's really hard to kind of stay connected to why you went into business. Do a lot of work around that, around sort of entrepreneurial motivation. And the last thing I shared, and this is something that I'm really into at the moment, I'm talking a lot about failure, because I think that everybody fails, and either it kind of gets glorified as this amazing phoenix arising from the ashes experience, or it just gets completely hidden. And I think, again, particularly in the entrepreneurial sort of influencer space, we need to be much more honest about the fact that sometimes things are a bit poo, and you can learn from it, and it can be funny, but also it can be tough. And how do we support people when they've had a bit of a fail? I think is just super important. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I hope you heard me. I hope you heard that okay, Basma.
It turns out I had my speakers on mute, so I'm normally a bit more of a technical whiz, but I just completely messed up. Thank you so much. Do you want to nominate somebody else to start talking, and we can make it a chain?
Oh, sure.
Can I jump in quick?
Yeah,
sorry,
go ahead.
to interrupt. I was just wondering, like, maybe can people put in like a link or something in the chat?
Great
so
idea.
then we can like check everyone out, maybe?
Yeah. If you're able to access the chat, pop your links in there, and at the same time, I'm happy to circulate everybody's links at the end. So I'll send everything round in a kind of roundup email.
Okay, I will nominate April.
Hey everybody, I'm April. I'm joining from Canada. My blog and my Instagram is The Ethical Edit. I started writing kind of casually about sustainability, social justice and sustainability about 5 years ago. It's kind of evolved since then, and I started about a year ago trying to really focus on sharing information and ideas that would make it easier for people to feel invited into the movement and make, positive or sustainable changes in their life. And then recently in November, as I was laid off from my 9-to-5, I decided to go into consulting. So now I'm doing marketing for conscious brands and small businesses. And I've been in marketing, working for local businesses and stuff for 6-ish years. Last thing I posted was about a roundup for sustainable denim, because a couple of my followers had asked for that, and I kind of wanted to know more about it too. So I shared that. But what I'm really obsessed with right now is things like greenwashing and fair washing. I have a bit of a morbid fascination because it's a mix of sustainability and marketing and psychology, which I also love. I think that's about it. So I guess, do I nominate somebody now? Okay, I'll nominate Maya. I hope I said your name right. Is it Maya or Mia? Yeah.
Okay. Hi, my name is Mia. I'm joining in from South Africa, although I live in the Netherlands. So I came across ethical influences, I think, maybe like earlier last year. One of my friends had reshared a quote or something, and I was like, oh, what's ethical influences? So I checked it out, and I came across like this whole directory, and I was like, wow, I have to join this. So I'm really happy I'm here. But yeah, I run a sustainability blog, lifestyle, that I mostly focus on slow fashion and cruelty-free beauty. So my handle is Earth to Mia, and yeah, share a bit about the last thing you posted. Last thing I posted was just like a nice little capture about being home, because I study abroad, so I'm not home that often. So it's kind of just appreciating what you still have, especially during the pandemic. But related to sustainability, it would be about ethical chocolate for Valentine's Day. I'll just nominate Laura.
Sorry, Laura, you're on mute.
Sorry about that.
Much better.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to meet you all and like see all your faces. I think I had a little trouble getting in, so I may have missed the prompt. I don't know if it was something you posted in the chat. Maybe you could
Let me reshare it.
that.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Thank you. Okay, great. So yeah, my name is Laura. My blog is thebetterplanetproject.com. Also on Instagram and all the social media as the Better Planet Project. So it's basically a sustainable living and conscious consumerism blog that I started a few years back. So the last thing I posted, actually I haven't posted super recently, but I have a post coming up that I'm really excited about that should be up in the next day or two about like the trend of hygge and sort of like making that more ethical and sustainable, which I love that whole concept. And so I thought it would be really fun to kind of see how I can take that and adapt it to a sustainable lifestyle. So I'm really excited about that and would love for you guys to check that out. This should be up soon. So I think, is that it? And nominate another person. Okay, I will nominate Maria.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Maria, but anyway, my surname is Pili Uribe. It's much easier, I suppose. I am from Chile. I am a journalist, but currently I am living in Dublin, Ireland. Well, I am really excited to share with you, and always I try to check out a little bit about the sustainability, sustainable fashion, but about all my work right now is misinformation fighting. So I start to share my content around in the beginning of the pandemic, more or less, because I saw a lot of misinformation around sustainability and secondhand clothes. So I decided to write more on Instagram about all, and that's it. I try to do something, you know, and my last post was about vintage, secondhand vintage clothes. And always I try to share this kind of content with my people, with my friend, and about all my, the people around me is from Chile or from South America. So I write about all in Spanish. And that's it. Okay, I nominate Alicia.
You said that perfectly too. I get Alicia all the time. But yes, it's Alicia. So can everybody hear me okay? I think I unmuted it, right? Okay. So I'm coming in from New York and my blog is alicialatour.com. And I'm a cruelty-free vegan blogger focusing mostly on skincare and makeup and mostly skincare. I have a slight obsession with skincare and currently working on a post talking about what you can do with your old skincare containers and bottles. And I know that sometimes we have accumulated a lot of waste from that. So I'm like repurposing my old cleanser bottles for right now I'm looking at my kitchen because I have 3 there, one for lotion, one for my dish soap, and one for my hand soap, and then like using like the little jars for plants or like growing plants. So that's currently what I'm working on. But yeah, mostly obsessed with skincare and beauty. So I think that's it. Who can I nominate? Let's go with Martina.
Hey. So I talk about sustainable fashion mainly and also lifestyle, and I'm based in London, but I'm from Spain, so my content is both in Spanish and English. So yeah, a bit of a mix and a bit of a nightmare sometimes. Yeah, so I've been talking lately about, obviously I don't talk about sustainability right now as much as I used to do, because I think everyone now is feeling a bit like shit, like being at home and, you know, quarantine stuff, especially here in the UK. So I've been talking about how I feel, because I think I didn't want to put more pressure on those that follow me, like saying, hey, just be super sustainable and all that, when they are feeling as shit as I do. So yeah, I was basically talking about anxiety and all that. And obviously I always say, like, my message is always like, just love your clothes. So like being positive on that part. But I'm not like, because I do a series of videos called Planet Queens, and I talk about like greenwashing, like fast fashion and all that is related to fast fashion, slow fashion, all of that is a bit, you know, impactful. So I don't want to be like giving all that information and making people feel bad right now. So yeah, I'm just talking about my own anxiety stuff. And yeah, so yeah, I think that's it. Cool. So I'll nominate Jade.
Hello everyone, I'm Jade, I'm from the UK. I'm a freelancer that likes to juggle lots of different things, as freelancers do. So I'm a model, I'm a photographer, so I've got like little show and tell things here. I do weddings, and with my partner we make rustic furniture as well out of reclaimed scaffolding boards. Yeah, so a few different things. So basically I'm not like a set brand or anything that's trying to particularly look at one area. I joined Ethical Influencers recently, actually, like maybe a month or two ago, just because I want to look at how, mainly with my modeling side, that's kind of mostly what I'm doing at the moment, how I can incorporate getting more ethical, eco-friendly content out there. So I've managed to move away from fast fashion as much as I can. So I like to share, you know, independent brands that I'm working with, or clothes that I've got secondhand from charity shops, that sort of thing. Yeah, so I'm just kind of interested in this to see how I can pull in and share with sort of my followers what I'm doing to be a bit more eco-conscious. So lately, what I'm posting about actually is eco-friendly underwear. So I have pretty much managed to move away from fast fashion, all apart from underwear. I'm getting a bit stuck on that. I know there are a lot of good brands out there, Foodie and all different things. Some are great for simple things, some I find are really simple, and sometimes I want, you know, some nice lacy underwear or something a bit nicer. So yeah, that's actually quite a big thing that I'm struggling at the moment. That's really what I'm stuck on. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been sharing about, asking people for advice and that sort of thing. And yeah, that's about it at the moment. I will nominate Elle. I don't think we've heard from Elle.
Hey guys, I'm from Chicago. I'm Elle, and I'm a small, you can say, ethical fashion blogger. I just started a couple months ago, and like I just rebranded. So to give you an idea of what I'm going for now, I basically make content around sustainable fashion, intersectional environmentalism, and social justice. And this transition in my blog and my branding came about after being a community organizer for Somos Sunrise, which is part of Sunrise Movement. And they're trying to fight for a Green New Deal in the United States. So our climate crisis basically doesn't go any worse than it is. So I do definitely see how sustainable fashion is very interconnected with a lot of different issues. So sustainable amor is what my blog is called, and amor means love, so like sustainable love. I'm Mexican American, so I try to incorporate my my Latina experience in my blog because sustainable fashion is primarily white led, and so hopefully I can bring a different perspective in the United States around this conversation so that we can have more of a sustainable and global love for our clothes, for our earth, and for people all over the world. And I think it's super essential to bring culture in because it's a disservice to just talk in a very narrow perspective about what sustainable fashion is. So I'm trying to diversify that and uplift BIPOC people. I still don't really know what I'm doing, so that's just very conceptual at the moment. But I'm excited. I'm really excited, and hopefully I can like make more content around what it means to decolonize fashion, how to uplift Latina sustainable fashion influencers or activists, how to, you know, not necessarily follow trends and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I don't want to go on tangents, but I'll leave my links in the chat so you can follow me if you want. And I'll pass it to Niba.
Hi everyone. I have to say I'm really excited about this because I don't think we've ever had a hangout before. It's nice to see all of your lovely faces other than just on the website. My name is Niba. I am a scientist turned like science content creator. I mostly make videos and social media for a number of places, usually about like education, science, etc. But I work a lot also with DEI efforts. I have a degree in diversity studies and I'm an intersectional minority myself. So if anyone's interested in like talking BIPOC or uplifting BIPOC people, would love to talk more about that. You can find me at Notes by Niba. I'm on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and I guess you can like connect with me on LinkedIn. Like that's cool too. I will say it's really nice that we also have a LinkedIn because it makes it feel like so much more official and like real. So yeah, I talk a lot about mostly plant science. I'm pivoting my content a teeny bit right now. Going to be talking mostly about plant science through beauty, fashion, and skincare. I see a lot of other skincare junkies here. I'm also a skincare junkie, but you know, whatever. It makes me feel like if I spend $100 on this, at least it's like taking care of myself. Oh well. I have no idea who hasn't gone yet, but I think I will nominate April if you have not gone yet.
I have gone, so.
Haha, just kidding.
Well,
who
hasn't gone actually?
Okay, Lucille, thank you.
Hello, my name is Lucille Solomon. I am based in Tampa, Florida, and I am a freelance writer on sustainable fashion and beauty. So I pitch myself to several magazines and outlets to pretty much write what's itching, whatever I'm interested at the moment. Thankfully, with some of the platforms, I have developed a bit of a relationship, so they know what I'm interested in. So if they see something that's out there and they know that I like it, they will pitch it over to me. I do also have a mindful living blog. It's namesake, so luciellesolomon.com. I've had that for a couple years. It's been evolving. It's very personal, I'll say. It's evolved throughout my life. It changes topics a little bit here and there, but I think at its core is also, it's been like very about mindfulness. It can be about shopping habits, about travel, about your personal life, but that's kind of at its core. I've created content, like social content for other companies in the past. I've kind of related a little bit with Jade, as she mentioned, as a freelancer, you kind of like tapped us many different industries or different activities. One of my recent babies that I'm trying to develop more is a newsletter called L Curations. Besma actually participated a couple of weeks ago, so I was really excited. Part of it, or the mission behind it, is to continue to celebrate people that are doing great work in the sustainable and beauty fashion industry. I provide lots of information in regards to articles that are out there. I highlight people. I see people that I would love to contact to highlight as well. It's weekly, it goes out every Thursday, and it's very, very new. I also provide brands. I curate brands that I see that are doing great work. So if people are interested to discovering brands, that's also part of it. I'm now adding job ads. So people are looking for applications, want a new career or something different. I also have a section of job posts. So it's developing, it's growing, it's weekly. It's a little passion called L Curations, and I will add it also in the chat box if you guys are interested, but I'm sure I'm going to screenshot everyone here, all the names. I'll reach out to you, so hopefully you're able to participate and you'll answer just a couple of questions about yourself.
Okay, I will nominate if we're happy to pick up. I think Brianna, have you not gone yet?
No, I haven't. Hi, I'm Brianna. Sorry it's so dark. I need to figure out the lighting situation for next time. But yeah, I run the Ecological blog, which has a big focus on beauty and skincare, because that was my initial way in for my family, sort of starting to think about making greener choices, more ethical choices. And I'm also a bit of a skincare addict, so it's fun to write about that. But I also cover sort of bigger issues and try to do some longer form content at least once a month. I talk a lot about plastic-free options. I recently posted about Pozu for ethical shoes. So sort of bit of this, bit of that. Natural well-being as well is a big thing for me in self-care, especially this year for the last 12 months. But yeah, do a bit of everything. I also freelance and just finished my, well, not finished yet, but just resubmitted my PhD. So hoping that sort of is come to an end soon, which is exciting. And yeah, that's me in a nutshell, I guess. Not sure who else hasn't gone.
I can go, I haven't gone. Okay, so I'm Frankie. I live in London and I just predominantly post on Instagram. And my @ is @FrankieFully. I'll post it in the chat. Mine, my Instagram kind of just started this year with the sustainability message. I've always been into it just because my dad is very like sustainable, very reuse everything in the house, like nothing new. It's kind of been like a core in my family to do those sorts of things. But and mine just started because I started working as a buyer in John Lewis in January, and I just entered this really like consumerist office culture, like new outfits every day. The girls were literally like, if they felt like they could wear the same tops as the office, like you imagine you're in the office every day of the year. And it was like crazy because obviously all the girls in fashion are just obsessed with fast fashion and beauty. Obviously, like there's so many products, still so many chemicals in, which I feel really passionate about. So although I wouldn't say I explicitly talk about a sustainability message on my Instagram, I'll obviously always reshare posts on fast fashion. I always make sure to like post slow fashion outfits, and I think like from my following, especially, is they're all like women my age and women who love like serious shopaholics. I'm hoping I influence them in a subtle way. I hope that they think more about what they're buying and they don't need to wear like a new outfit to the office every day. So yeah, the last thing I posted was probably just like it was just something silly, like I was wearing my dad's hat out in the snow the other day because I hadn't brought a hat back to my parents' house with me, which like I know none of my friends would be seen dead in, just because like they would literally buy a new hat with next day delivery on Misguided and then wear it. So yeah, I'm just trying to be like, it's not a big deal, you know, you can rewear stuff. And my obviously other niche is like I love clean beauty. I'm obsessed with clean beauty. I literally like, I don't want to put chemicals on my skin. I just don't understand how people want to do that. So yeah, that's about me. Is there anyone else who hasn't gone that I can pass it over to?
I haven't gone, and sorry guys, it's probably because my camera's not on that it's less obvious.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead then.
Hi there. So my name's Belle Afrique, and sorry that I'm not on camera, but I've had abysmal internet for like the last 2 weeks, and it's just becoming a bit of a mare. I've been on the phone with my provider every day, but besides that, it's all good. So I'm not actively posting at the moment any social content, but I generally post about health and well-being and also plant-based eating. I've been previously very, very keen to share information about holistic health and natural skincare, but I kind of made a transition and moved over to plant-based eating because that was just more of a current interest for me, and just sharing information about how people can reduce their impact on the environment and also think a bit more about how the food that they're eating has an impact on their health as well. So, sorry, I've also forgotten the points that we're supposed to be talking about. What is it? In terms of posting, yeah, as I said, I'm not actually currently posting that much. But when I do post, it's generally through interactive stories. So I share information about events that I attend. I was a nutrition student as well, so I'm generally sharing health messages, and also about our environmental impacts and how people can choose more sustainable options in terms of things that they do at home. So that might be just in terms of sourcing their food or sourcing products for their home life, so cleaning and beauty. But other than that, I think everybody has said literally the same, very similar things. So I don't want to repeat everybody else's messages, so I'll stop there.
Thank you, Belle. I want to double check, is Laura there? I feel like I can only see her connecting to audio. So Laura, I'm really sorry if we're not quite connected.
I think, you know, I think that might be, I was having trouble getting in, and so it might be like another one that I tried to disconnect and it didn't work. So sorry about that. That might also be me.
I was worried there was someone stuck kind of in limbo, unable to connect, but I'm glad that that's cleared up. Okay. Thank you so much for just everybody going through, and I know I was putting everybody on the spot a little bit there to kind of introduce yourselves, but I'm currently actually taking part in a weekly course with the RSA and Ellen MacArthur Foundation, and I've been connecting with other people who are working in this space, and that's one of the ways they get us to talk about ourselves. And at first it's super daunting, but when you get to hear about other people's journeys into the space that they're in, what they're working on, and I think everybody seems to be skincare junkies here, so I'm glad I'm with fellow friends who aren't going to judge me for what's in my makeup bag and all of my cosmetics. It's nice to have that kind of common connection. Because this is a meet and greet, it is a very loose format, but I was hoping to potentially also get us to talk about something that's challenging us at the moment. I think Martina's touched on it in the fact that sustainability comes under question when you're faced with difficult times. I think a few people have talked about, you know, whether they've slowed up on posting or there's things that they're navigating and changing their content direction. This is such a new space. It seems that there's not really a kind of done way. We're making it up as we go, and we're developing this each for ourselves, but also as an industry, as a whole thing. It's so brand new, that I think having these opportunities to connect with one another and share those challenges may help us to also navigate that together. So I'm going to break you out into, I think we're going to say 3 breakout rooms, so groups of 5. Come to the room, and whether it's one person decides to share something or you all decide on a topic to discuss, let's see whether there's something we can help each other out with. I'll let it last about 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and each talk about the challenge that we're all trying to work through and see how we can kind of navigate that together. So let me see if I can make this work with the breakout rooms. Let's do 3, and it's going to be completely random, so fingers crossed you're all with lovely people. Let's do this. Perfect. Thank you all for that. I'd love to kind of hear a bit more about people's experiences of whether there's common challenges that are being shared and whether you came up with any resources or ways to navigate through that. I know it was only 10 minutes, so I'm not expecting any groundbreaking, super powerful solutions, but love to hear a bit more. And should we say room 1? Who was in room 1? Mia, do you want to take over?
Sure thing. Well, we briefly kind of discussed Al. Well, I don't know. Well, we didn't discuss Al. We discussed Al starting her blog and everything, and kind of navigating the space, especially in a time that is so interesting, like 2020 and 2021, where a lot of things are very politically correct, and especially with Biden being elected into office and how that's going to change quite a few things. And then we also just discussed and went over a couple of things related to our own personal challenges with maintaining consistency on Instagram or like different social media platforms, especially during the pandemic. Because as I was telling everyone, I personally, although I really wanted to come tonight, I felt reluctant to, because I had spent an entire day being on Zoom. So I was like, oh, do I even want to go tonight? I was like, oh, it's silly not to miss it. But, when you're online 24/7, it can become draining. There's aspects of comparison. You might even start to feel burnt out. Like, it's a lot of information all at once. So that was basically just what we discussed. And I thought it was quite interesting. I don't know if anyone else in my group would like to go, or we have time for that, but.
We've got a little bit of time if people want to, and then I'm going to share a little snippet of something and we can all sign off and say thank you all. So yeah, anybody else in Mia and Elle's group like to discuss anything? All good? Okay, should we move over to our group? We were group 2, so Frankie, Alicia, everyone else, do you want to take over?
Yeah, so really similar themes with us. Not so much, we didn't talk about blogging, but we talked about being consistent when you're obviously, like in the UK, you're in a complete lockdown. You can't even take nice pictures outside, you just get arrested for it. But it's definitely hard to create natural content or content with good lighting. And yeah, I think also the Zoom thing came up. I just said I've just finished work, and then I literally had another Zoom call, which is this one. Obviously, it's really brightened my day. It's the best Zoom call I've had because it's not with work. But yeah, did really similar themes, which is actually really interesting for us. Do you guys who are in my group want to add anything as well?
Good. Martina,
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's interesting to kind of draw the parallels, especially of us working and almost overworking. Belle said that she's got more work to do after this. I do wonder if that's a case of kind of the working from home symptom, where everybody just then works and works and works, and carving out your day is so different to how it was pre the pandemic. And yeah, it's a lot harder as well for a lot of us who are doing this in our spare time and free time. How are you making that extra time work for you? And also, we're online so much anyway, it doesn't even feel, I don't know, it doesn't feel as novel to be back online for yourself because you're just online all day anyway. Yeah, okay, group 3, which I imagine is Maria, Lucielle. Would you love to take over and tell us a bit more about what you discussed?
All right, I was with Jade, Brianna, and April. Our group had similar topics come up as the previous group. We mainly talk about staying motivated and through like all just how hard this time it is for everyone. So just staying motivated and creating content. Also, in that same line is how we want to stay positive in the type of content we project. I know someone mentioned in their intro is that we don't want to be negative, or some people don't want to be negative in type of content they do in regards to sustainable fashion. So also how do we navigate through all that and bring positivity when there is a lot of negativity around it? If anyone else wants to add from my group.
One thing I'll quickly add was this year was really freeing for me in a weird way, because I got so burnt out trying to write about things that I thought were important, but that didn't really like light me up. And at some point I just had to say no more. I can't do that. So I only, share and write about things that catch my interest, because I'm personally interested in them for the most part. And that was really freeing in a way. It kind of took a lot of the pressure off, because I kind of just said, well, to heck with it. Like, I'm just going to do what I want to do. To paraphrase my actual thoughts,
That's a really interesting point. And I think especially in this space, when you first come into, being online is overwhelming in one respect, but then coming in and trying to talk about a topic which can feel overwhelming at the best of times, whether it's the climate crisis, environmentalism, green politics, there's so much that has to be changed, and in a kind of speedy way. It's not something we can just sit around and say, well, hopefully it will happen. It's really difficult to tackle that head on, and at the same time we are all just individuals and trying to share what we're doing in a way which is both supportive, positive, gets other people on board and into this space and wanting to do more. But you also don't want to be too light touch and kind of make it very flippant. You want people to know the reason behind what you're doing and why it's important to you. But yeah, April, that's kind of the way that I've been doing what I do. But literally the name that I'm with Curiously Conscious was because I was typing questions into Google and I was like, the answers aren't really giving me what I want. So let me write about that and then kind of give a bit more detail. So it's literally what I'm asking and then the answers that come from there. So yeah, be a bit more selfish, guys, and I promise you won't be judged for it. It's a good space for us all to kind of explore. Yeah, it's been really interesting and a very quick hour. I was really hoping to get more kind of done. So potentially, and I will be sending out an email to kind of round everything up after this, potentially we could extend these for maybe an extra half an hour. I just don't want also to cause people to have that Zoom burnout. And yeah, it is effort just to get ready to be on camera. So totally appreciate you showing up and doing that today. There was one thing that I wanted to share and run through, and I don't think we're going to have time. Part of the content calendar that I put together this year has a planning section, which is about how to plan your content. So it's starting off with what's your mission, what's your content about, and what's the key core thing that people will come back to and know you for, and then what are the challenges and aims that you want to take forward and do it in a way which is using the SMART objectives. So I don't know if you're all familiar with that, but SMART goals kind of help break things down in a way which then gives you a goal that you can follow. So it's I can share this actually. Let me copy and paste it into the chat so you've got it. It makes those goals a lot easier to follow. They are specific, measurable, assignable, realistic, and time related. And it gives you something to work on and check back in with, and hopefully can, even what we've discussed this evening, whether it's not finding enough time for these things, or content direction is just not in a space that makes you wake up and you're happy about it, or you're really loving what you're creating, finding a way of making that into a SMART objective and something you can look back on in a month's time and say, I've navigated away from that, or I've improved. Because so much of what we do is judged on just follower counts or engagement rate or readership, and actually that kind of takes away from the importance of the content that's being shared. And I think there's so much more value going on for each of your platforms, but everybody in the community is creating things where it's values driven. It's not about follower counts and just the numbers that you see. So yeah, I will be sharing that in an email rather than running through all of that now. I'd love to kind of just open the floor again once more and ask if anybody wanted to ask any questions or float anything before we all sign off. Cool.
Is there a way that we can like save the chat, or because I'm worried I'm going to miss out on people's apps?
It's a good question.
Sorry, I know you're not an IT girl. Like, I don't know why.
You know what? Normally I'm quite a tech whiz, but I think it's the pressure of just having everybody looking at you, and you're like, I don't know which button to click, and I put my speaker on mute for the start. So sorry, Julia, for cutting off your intro there. Just yeah, apparently I can download this as a file. So let me try that now, and then we'll be able to save that, and you can have it to look through. But again, I've got everybody who signed up at the start. I've got all of your kind of emails and your links, so that will be shared as well. So it's all of your kind of handles or websites and blogs. Let me see. But yeah, again, thank you for making this such a lovely hangout and kind of very easy breezy. I hope it wasn't too difficult. If there's anything that can be improved as well, please do let me know. I'm going to send out a kind of anonymous questionnaire, so if you thought this was 1 star, you can also tell me that and I'm not offended. This is a work in progress, but appreciate you all showing up tonight. And yeah, if you'd love to share anything else, whether it's on the chat or in the group now, please do, and then we'll sign off.
Thank you
so much
for
organising.
Thank you so much. This has been great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Lovely to meet you all.
And you. See you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.